friends. Well, there's always tons and tons and tons of royal news going on, as we know. And like I said, there are so many YouTubers who made their career into royal news, and even more specifically into going into the whole Harry and Meghan controversy. But, I really think that the other royal families around the world are being neglected. Of course, maybe you think it would stir up more unroyal, more Republican sentiment to know if there are a lot more of them, but I think, by and large, the royal families are beloved by their countries. And as we see, the British royal family news is huge, so I'm sure the news will be just about equally as exciting on the other royals as well. So I think we should venture into those topics at some point, because after all, Harry and Meghan, the ex-royals, are not exactly royal news in a way, but they are sort of a different category. Like I said, we're watching this soap opera, this car crash melodrama, waiting to see what's going to happen. And one thing I was thinking of is they are very fortunate, as they are struggling to stay relevant, that at this time in history, the royal family has just happened to have had some seismic shakeups and changes in their, in the monarchy and their lives, which comes in the form of the death of Queen Elizabeth and, the coronation of King Charles. It's a big event, like I said, practically can be once in a century event. And these are just very big things going on that is helping keep them in the news. So they are fortunate in this way. However, as lots of people are saying, they are going to run out of bombshells to share. Harry was in the royal family longer than Meghan, but still, if most of their case is based on her being treated badly, they've pretty much exhausted that line of complaint. So therefore, we shall see how relevant they can stay. As we were saying, they're probably going to have to reinvent themselves as just regular celebrities. And that said, is just doing a blog going to be all they need? We're seeing they're not invited to Hollywood events. Probably Hollywood events would like their attendees to be in the business, actors of some type, producers, directors. So I think to stay in relevance, that Harry and Meghan are going to have to probably go into the entertainment industry and I don't think they're going to be able to keep sitting on the outside saying, we're royals, we get to come to everything. They're going to have to jump in. So Meghan might have to go back to acting. Oh dear, spare us. But we shall see, because I think their relevancy as royals is going to really diminish. It's diminishing now. And I said these big events for the royal family is helping to keep them in the news. But once King Charles is coronated and things settle down, the royal news is going to be just the everyday stuff, cutting ribbons, attending ceremonies, birthdays, Christmas, and that's not really going to get Harry and Meghan into the news. So lots of people are saying they're going to end up like, the abdicated king in Wallace Simpson, just going to sort of be depending on the favor of other people who think they have a little bit of royal glamour, and, it's going to dwindle over time. One thing I can bet is I rather think will be interesting when it gets to William's coronation someday. Kind of don't think that they're going to get an invite. Do you want to bet? In this case, it's a father who wants his son there, so we can understand that. But a wronged brother. So, well, we hope that will be a number of years in the future, but we'll see what happens then. In the meantime, like I said, Harry and Meghan have become a pop culture thing, and they're kind of, it's kind of a fad now that people are making a lot of jokes about them. Yeah, there should be some more plays. I'm seeing different songs on YouTube and things. So it's crazy. we shall see what we shall see. And my prediction, I still predict they will come to the coronation because they can't afford to miss such a big opportunity to gain publicity for themselves and to push themselves in the public eye, as Stromboli says. However, there still seems to be controversy. Some people think they won't show, or some people think that Meghan doesn't have the guts to show. She's had the guts all along for everything she's done. So if she doesn't show, I will say this will be the first sign of weakness, the hamartia, as they put in theatrical terms, the fatal flaw of the hero. So, I mean, if Meghan doesn't show up to the coronation, that will mean that she is embarrassable, that she is scared, and that she is, she's running scared from the public and the royal family, and that will make her look like she has her weak spot, and it's finally telling on her, and she's scared of Kate and William, and we'll see. So this is like throwing down a challenge. People don't think she'll show up because she's too scared. She's shown a remarkable courage, and as Lady C says, she is unembarrassable. But if she doesn't show up to the coronation, that's going to say we've finally seen her weak side. So let's go from there. But now as for King Charles, I think it's a little unfair for everyone to keep picking on him. Give him a chance. I mean, we all have our weaknesses, and the people, their children is the weakest point of a lot of people. And so we know that. So we'll cut Charles a little slack. I'm not going to panic over it or get worried. As far as the children getting their titles, in this case, as people said, the children have been entitled to the titles, Archie and Lilibet, as grandchildren of the monarch. And as we would say, I used to be on the council of our local borough, and if people wanted to make a law against something, if someone already had it, they were allowed to keep it, and it would be for the future. The people who already had chickens, and they want to make a law against chickens because they're causing trouble and running around town and everything. But you can't tell the people that right now that have chickens to get rid of your chickens, because that would be, obviously, I don't know, discriminating or something. But you say, okay, we're making a law against chickens. You have chickens, okay, keep your chickens. But in the future, no more chickens. So basically, if this batch of chickens you have, gets eaten by a fox, then and you decide to get more chickens in 6 months' time, you're not allowed to, because that's under the new law. So basically, the old chickens are grandfathered in. And this is the case, I think, with Archie and Lilibet. The law hadn't been changed at the time of Queen Elizabeth's death. So, as grandchildren of the monarch, they were automatically, entitled to the titles. And to change the law now would be kind of obvious that, they were being singled out to try to avoid giving them the titles. So, in any case, even if the law were changed now, they would be grandfathered in as, with their titles, because that was part of the old law. So, we're not going to sweat it. Unfortunately, that gives Harry and Meghan more chances to merch the kids and more help them stay relevant. And we shall see how that goes over the years. I'm interested to see what happens whenever, Lilibet is 20 and Meghan is 60, and then there's going to be some jealousy there. How is a narcissist going to handle her daughter being young and beautiful, and she is getting old and wrinkly? We'll see how that goes. Okay, let's talk about how Harry and Meghan have technically been more or less officially replaced in the Duke and Duchess working royal sphere. With Prince Edward and Sophie finally getting the titles of Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. They are now, of course, the working royals that work with William and Kate, and they have been definitely elevated and are playing a senior role in running the firm. Whereas this would have been a role that Harry and Meghan would have been playing had they stayed within the royal family. You know, the old Fab Four. We don't call William and Kate and Edward and Sophie the Fab Four, but they are definitely the next ones to step up and take over the duties where Harry and Meghan left off. So now they will be getting more news, and they are technically, you know, on the same level and actually above Harry and Meghan in status because they are working royals. So I'll bet that makes them, Harry and Meghan, a little bit grumpy. And of course, that's why we figured they tried to do the thing with announcing the children's titles and trying to detract attention away from, you know, Edward and Sophie's big day. So we notice that's definitely a common theme with them. So, and while the royal family isn't necessarily trying to coincide their dates, the dates of events, but that's something the rest of us could do, you know? Make documentaries on them and release it on their birthday and stuff. You know, we public people should do that, you know? They write their books and do documentaries on them and release it on their special days. And let's see how they like it. But, so we have faith, and as Lady C says, things are catching up with them, and their chickens are coming home to roost, and I'm saying that the royal family is not always going to be having big events that anyone's going to be thinking about should they be attending or not, and they're just lucky they have been able to stay as relevant as they have for this long. Now, also, the court case for Samantha Markle versus Meghan Markle is looming once again. And that royal reporter Neil Sean seems to think that there is something to it and that Meghan might be facing her Waterloo, or at least facing a very uncomfortable hour in the hot seat. We'll see. I mean, so far, Meghan has been ruthless and seemed to get away with everything, but we don't know. Is she going to finally make a misstep? Or will she be caught and not be able to wiggle out of some of the things that she has said and done? We shall see, for sure. There's just so much to go into with these topics. So much to go into with the royal news. But I guess that just about covers it for now. Coronation's still coming up, so they're still going to get in the headlines for a while to come. And then, of course, the fallout from that, so as they struggle to keep their heads above water in the headlines, we'll just keep on sitting back, eating our popcorn, and watching the drama unfold. Okay, thanks for watching. You take care. Let freedom ring.